Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are on Tuesday, November 7th. We're going to take a look at Lucid today. So Lucid has earnings coming up, and I thought we would come take a look to see where it might find support, resistance, trend line, EMA, TTM squeeze indicator, that sort of thing. So it had a nice push up here a few days ago, up over 12%, but it has done a lot of work to retrace most of that. So I would say that the previous resistance here became support, which set off that move. So I'm going to put a level in there at 411 and just say, if it does come down based off of earnings, I would see potential support there as well as 406. Both of those are just obviously in front of that psychological $4 level. We saw it slip below that on this wick here. So we'll see. And if it has a positive, it almost seems impossible, right, to have sustained positive bullish momentum in Lucid at this point. But if it does, that 451 level might play out more like a $4.50 psychological level would make sense to me as a pretty stretch level up there. There's not a ton of resistance. There's like one sort of here around like 433. But otherwise, there's just not a lot of price action to gauge a ton of additional levels off. And I wanted to keep the chart pretty clean, so I didn't want to add in a bunch of levels. But 450 and then this downtrend resistance is just the most important thing. I mean, this thing has been caught under this downtrend resistance for a very long time. This goes back to June 11th of 2023. And so it's just been several months, and it's hit it, it's run into it or done a near miss of it several times. So it's not like it hasn't tried, but it's been very, very, very strong. So these are the levels depending on if it booms, where I could see it stretching up to and catching resistance, and if it busts, where it might sort of move as it approaches that $4 level. Now, if we hide these for a moment, pull in the EMAs to see where we're at. We're actually not that far off of the EMAs, which is almost surprising, but it's been under such a sustained downturn that the EMAs have just, stayed relatively tight in. And with this big move a few days ago, it sort of got it back into play with those EMAs. But today, putting in strong resistance off of the 8 EMA and, came up right to that 34, and that's where it wicked off really strongly. So it didn't seem to have a lot of buying potential there, but we'll see if that changes, depending on the sentiment to earnings. Obviously, if it's really positive, that may certainly change. But right now, yeah, the 8s, nothing is really curling to try to attempt a bullish crossover, but we'll see, like I said, with the reaction if that changes. Now, also between yesterday and today, it's showing that it's losing the mid-range of this channel, and it wasn't able to stretch up toward the upper bound of the channel at all. Recently it was out of the channel. When that happens, we look for it to retrace to the mid-range, that blue line. That's what it did. But it's basically just, it tried, and then it just pushed off of it, tried to carry this momentum on for some additional days, and it just couldn't hold that mid-range. So now coming back toward the lower bound of the channel, and we'll see, like I said, based on the reaction, where that kind of sorts itself out. TTM squeeze indicator, from everything I just said, I think you would imagine that bearish momentum obviously has a hold on it, has had a hold on it for a long time. To go all the way back here to get any bullish momentum on the histogram back to July. So it's quite sustained and quite strong still. You see this stretch down in the histogram in the recent swing even stronger than the most recent swings before it. So, it's incredible how strong and sustained this down motion has been. So, like I've been sort of, cautioning folks against on the other side of things, where some of these stocks have been sort of moving up strongly in recent days heading into earnings, I've cautioned and said, just be aware, sometimes even with a good earnings report, that means that the market will feel as though it's priced that in because of the recent boom in price. And sometimes you can have an unexpected negative reaction on an otherwise good earnings call, even if it's short-lived, but it can just be because folks feel like the recent price increase has already priced that in. Maybe Lucid, even though it did have this big day a few days ago, maybe this sustained downturn, even if earnings aren't great, maybe it will sort of consume that information as like, yeah, but this is still a really, really undervalued stock. It's been beaten up so hard and it is so low priced right now that even on maybe, lackluster news, it might still be the right move or at least follow the sentiment of the market to say we're going to go ahead and step in and try to create some buying pressure. I don't know, but it was just an opportunity to say the opposite of something that I've been saying over and over and over again recently with stocks that have been moving up in price heading into earnings. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching and I will see you in the next video.